Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pickle Tree. I am Tovar Perry, and this is basically my life. So let's just get started. This is the second episode. I just recorded the pilot not too long ago today, and then I decided, you know what, let's get a few episodes out there. Just ramble on for 30-minute segments and get a few episodes out there, get it going, get it started. And there's so much I can talk about, but I don't want to talk about it like too much, and I don't want to like completely make the whole entire series like all at once and basically run out of things to talk about. But one thing that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wondering, like, where did my name come from? I know a lot of people, like, whenever they meet me, that's like their first question, like, are you American? Are you white? What nationality is that? You don't look like you're from Norway or whatever. Like, or that sounds like a Viking name, or like they even like question if it's my real name. Yes, it is my real name. I'm telling you that right now. That is my real name, Tovar. And it is actually a Spanish name from Spain. It is a surname, a last name for a lot of people. And my mother's two best friends, when she was pregnant with me, had that last name, and they were brother and sister. And the brother happened to feel the first time that I kicked ever, and the sister at the time was not able to medically have her own children. So she was there for the birth and everything, and a huge support for my mother when she was pregnant with me when she was 18, actually. She was 18 when she had me. And because of all that, my mother decided to name me after them. And I am very grateful. I am glad that I'm not some cookie cutter name like Michael. I just no offense to anybody who is named Michael, but I am sick and tired of meeting people who are named Michael or hearing about people who are named Michael. Like, god damn it, parents. Like, come up with something more original. Name your child something unique, or name your child a name that's not common. Yes, it brings a lot of attention to them. I was extremely bullied for having such a weird name, but you know what? It makes them more individualized. It makes them more unique, and it just helps. It helped me so much to be my own person rather than trying to worry about being like everybody else. It helped me be comfortable with being myself. So, like, if you're gonna name your child, name them something unique or very rare. Do not name them Michael. Do not name them Daniel. Do not name them David. Do not name them, I don't know, Susan. Do not name them Katie. Do not name them all these Elizabeth or whatever. Like, the Bible names. Just stop. Not every child needs to be named after the Bible. Like, oh man. And when people get named after their parents, like, it's cool, like, to say, I am Sir Reginald the 25th. Like, cool, great, whatever. But really, like, doesn't that make you feel like you have to live up to everyone's expectations and not be your own person? Like, you have to try to either surpass them in their achievements or at least become equal to their achievements. And I feel like that just brings so much pressure to somebody. So I am very thankful that I had a unique name. But for those of you wondering what nationality I actually am, um, I'm a lot German. I am a lot Italian, and a little bit Irish, and a little bit Apache. Just those are like the four main ones, but I have a bunch of other stuff too. I think I have like even a little bit of Polish in me too. But you know, I could go on like one of those family tree websites or whatever later on in my life if I really wanted to, but I honestly don't care. I'm white. That's all you need to know. I'm very, very white. um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. This feels more like the first episode because the pilot is more me talking about what the series is going to be and whatnot, and not necessarily like actually just starting off my journal. It's more like the first page, or like the back of the book or whatever. It's not the first page. It's not the first chapter of the book. And what this podcast is going to be is basically a journal. So this feels like more like a first episode than anything. So yeah, I guess start off like where everything started off. Like I said, I was born May 6th, 1996, and um I was actually raised by my grandmother. My mother was, at the time, since she was so young, she had me when she was 18. So since she was so young, she was just at the time not really fit to raise me. So my grandmother took over, and my mother was in and out of my life, and for multiple reasons, mainly because her and my grandmother could not get along. So my grandmother was basically my parent for my whole life, and now she's legally my parent. She technically adopted me when I was 10, and I'm very appreciative of that. Shout out to Nana, who is definitely going to be one of my faithful listeners. So yeah, I call her Nana, by the way. Nana, so that way everyone knows. If I say Nana, I'm referring to her. She is my Nana. She is my only Nana. I never knew anybody from my father's side because my father wasn't really in my life as much. He was in and out, but like way less. He was out for most of it, though. We'll do a separate episode talking more about family, but I want to kind of focus on like me and kind of give like a good outline of who I am in this episode. I grew up without cable. I grew up without TV. I actually grew up watching Godzilla, and you know, all the Godzilla VHS tapes. The first one that I watched was the Godzilla versus King Kong, and I watched all the older ones as well. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla was one of my other favorites too, and then the American version came out, the version that everybody hates, but I love it. The That one came out, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I had like a bunch of different toys and all that junk. Godzilla was basically my life. I would even like strip down to my underwear and like destroy like box towers and step on Hot Wheels cars and everything, and even bite on them and junk, and throw like the little toy figures, like the little Lego guys. I would throw them around and everything like that, and I would be Godzilla. And I would even like climb up on the furniture and the couch and junk like that. But that's some of my early childhood. Another favorite movie of mine was Iron Giant. Iron Giant was like a huge part of my life. I love Iron Giant so much. That's like my all-time favorite movie, and I would give anything to have like one. They have this action figure that's actually like super huge, and they took the 3D models from the actual movie. They were able to get those, and the figure is actually like proportionally correct, and they have every little detail just like in the movie for that figure. So that's really cool to me. So I would give anything to have that figure now, but it's so hard to find, and when you do find it, it's like over $200. It's insane. But toys were also a huge part of my life too. I have so many toys. The biggest toy line that I ever followed and have the most of. I still have them. I probably have like 2 bins full of them. Is Bionicles. Bionicles were my life, and if I were to see them come back like the way they were and not these new crappy ones, if they came back the way that they originally were, I would still probably buy them. I also got really into the books and the movies as well. So like the backstory of them and everything like that. That was my whole entire life. Oh man, I loved Bionicles so much. And I not only did I have like the actual sets and I would build them right with the instructions, but if I ever got like extra pieces like from thrift stores and stuff, because that's where I got most of my toys and junk, if I would ever get sets or extra pieces, I would always like build my own Bionicles as well, or enhance the normal sets to make them match like the movie a lot more and junk like that. But yeah, that Bionicles were a huge part of my life growing up. What else? When I was a kid, I didn't grow up with cable TV, so like the only channel that I would ever watch was PBS Kids, and when I was younger, I loved like Barney, Teletubbies, Dragon Tales was like super fucking awesome, dude. Like that was crazy. And then I got into Cyber Chase when I was a lot older, but Cyber Chase was crazy because it had a good backstory. It was very consistent with its story too. And outside of like teaching kids math and stuff, like if you skip all that junk and looked at it as its own cartoon series, it was actually really compelling and really good, and I loved the art style too. And the animation as well was really fun as well. So yeah, that's one of my big favorites. I was an only child growing up, by the way. I have siblings. I know my older brother now, and I have my younger siblings that are like 6 or 7 and 5 or 4 or whatever, and like, but like growing up, I didn't have them in my life at all. And again, I want to do a whole entire separate like episode about my family and whatnot and family drama, but like I don't want to dedicate episodes to anything specific. I want to have this be like where I just dump out everything that I want to say when I want to say it. I don't want to focus on anything too specific. I want to try to stay within like a specific thing, but I don't want to stay with something specific. So if I ever tell a story again or say the same thing twice in one episode or a different episode, please do forgive me. But yeah, I want to save all that for later. But yeah, being an only child, I was very desperate for friends, and I would try to be friends with everyone that I would meet. But in school, I was bullied a lot. I couldn't make friends, and if I did make friends, it felt like more one-sided than like I would consider them a friend, but they would definitely not consider me a friend. And if I'm wrong and you're listening to this now, reach out to me. But I'm talking more like middle school and elementary school. In high school, I did make a few friends, and they're still my friends today. They're still my friends on Facebook, and some of them I still talk to. So definitely those guys are still my friends for sure. But like middle school and elementary school, I could not make friends for the life of me. And I was bullied throughout my whole entire life, elementary school to middle school to high school. I was actually almost killed in high school. To make the long story short, someone tried to fight me. I ended up pinning them down, telling them to back off. They ran away. Then I later, like a few minutes later, got jumped by like 5 different people, a lot of them older than me, and they pinned me to a car and almost slit my throat. So that was not fun. But that's a story for another episode. That's a story for another time. But yeah, bullying was a huge issue for me, and I'm sure that if I wasn't bullied, I would have I would have had a lot less anxiety with social anxiety with like going to school and stuff, and I probably would have had perfect attendance, and I probably would have been able to graduate 3 years early, admittingly, because I was an AB student when I could be. The only time that I would ever fail is if I would be really behind on assignments or I couldn't complete an assignment in time because they were all piled up on me. And in all technicalities, I could have graduated my senior year, but they knew that I could get a lot more points and a higher score or whatever had I stayed longer, because I was just like there for passing grade. I was like perfectly fine to pass, but they wanted to make sure that I passed with flying colors rather than just passing. And I didn't know that until after I graduated a year later than I should have. Like, they told me afterwards, and I was so angry. Like, really, you wasted a year of my life? But without that extra year of my life, I wouldn't have been able to go into a vocational school for multimedia. And oh my gosh, I appreciated that class so much. Senior year, I took game design, and I forgot everything about that because I hate math. And for those of you who don't know, game design and coding require a lot of math. So yeah, I completely like forgot everything. I was decent at it, but yeah, I was a lot more comfortable in multimedia class, and multimedia class was so great. That's what made me figure out what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to do with my career path and whatnot. And I tried to do college as well, and with the same professor and everything, but the difference was that in the vocational high school, we had our own studio, we had like hundreds of computers, and we were learning 10 different programs all at once. We were even learning how to edit VHS tapes and how to solder wires, how to properly wrap up certain cords, what certain cords were for certain cameras, all the different type of microphones, all the different filming strategies that movies do and everything like that. And then I go into college, and granted it's community college, but it's the same professor, and he's only teaching us how to use Adobe Premiere. And I quit. I quit after the first day because Adobe Premiere is as easy as going on YouTube and watching a 7-minute video and learning the basics of it. And then the rest is just experimental. Like, for those of you who use Adobe Premiere, much respect to you because it is a hard program to learn. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you do not need to pay so much money for college to learn a program like that. If you're going to go to college, go there to learn something that you wouldn't be able to learn on your own. And quite honestly, with the power of the internet and everything, there's like so much that you can learn on your own. It's just a matter of the only difference that college has is probably an access to more resources for free, and you don't have to pay for your own equipment. They probably let you use your own equipment, and you actually have somebody there that you can talk to rather than watching videos and trying to talk on Discord and whatever. You actually have a professor who teaches this all the time that you can ask him or her, and they would help you out right then and there. So that's the only difference in college that I will give that. You can do that in college, but in all due honesty, if I'm only going to learn how to use one program and he's just going to sit there reading a newspaper, that's a waste of money. That's a waste of money right there. But yeah, now my life is it's okay. Like we get to this point now. I'm still living with my grandmother because I want to help her out as much as possible. She is elderly, and she doesn't have any husband or anything. She's always been single my whole entire life. And I wouldn't see her wanting to be with anybody right now. And I also get the house in the will when she does eventually pass. So I don't see it financially smart to waste my money on my own place if I'm going to get this house anyways. Like, why not save my money for this house and spend it on improving this house rather than going somewhere else and spending all the money on that and dedicating myself to that? You know what I mean? But I also have a job at GameStop. I work at GameStop. I'm currently only a game advisor, which it goes seasonal game advisor, senior game advisor, or guest advisor. I don't know, guest or game, whatever. And then there's the ASL, which is assistant store leader, and then SL, which is store leader, which is basically manager and assistant manager. And so I'm at the lowest of the low, but I've been working for GameStop for 3 years now, 3 years seasonal, and then this is the first year that they've actually ever kept me, of 2019. And so I'm hoping that eventually I will get promoted at least one rank up. Otherwise, I used to do Lyft and DoorDash. I'll probably talk about that in a future episode. I quit Lyft eventually because I hated it. And again, I'll probably talk about that in a future episode. And if you're doing Lyft right now, there are so many better options, so many better different options. And I know the struggle. And if you like it, great. But I could not see anybody actually enjoying that, actually really liking that. And now I'm doing DoorDash, which is amazing. DoorDash pays very well, pays very quickly, and keeps me in a controlled area where I don't have to go all the way to Chicago or like an hour and a half away from home. I can stay very close to home or close in one specific spot and not put so many miles on the car. And also, I don't have strangers in my car that most of the time are very drunk. I have a girlfriend right now. I do. But I've had troubles with relationships before. I will talk about that in a future episode. So I always get very nervous with her because about 3 years ago I did have my girlfriend at the time leave me for somebody else that I believe that she was cheating on me for quite a little bit before she ended the relationship, but she ended it in a way that she implied that we would be back together, and in reality, she ended it and just started a relationship right away with this other guy. So, and behind my back, and lied to me and continued talking to me in a way that, everything was fine between us and we would be in a relationship eventually again. So, very hard subject. Again, I'll talk about relationships in like a future episode, but like I've been hurt many times in the past, and I'm gonna admit it right now. If you're listening right now, current girlfriend, Wesley, I love you. I love you, Wesley, but I hope you understand why I am always scared of every relationship that I'm in. My life is filled with a lot of people coming and going, and it's filled with a lot of people, leaving me, a lot of people deceiving me, a lot of people not being dedicated, not being committed. So it's hard to trust anybody nowadays. I meet some amazing, great people, and I'm not going to always stay positive for this podcast. I'm sorry it got really dark really fast. I'm not going to always stay positive in this podcast. There might be a whole entire episode where I'm just really down and very upset and very depressed. And, yeah, I want to just say that, like, it's very hard to trust anybody, and as much as I would love everything to last forever, as much as I would love for everybody to stay immortal, as much as I would love for everybody to stay with me forever, it's more than likely just not a possibility, and I have to realize that fact. But yeah, my life now is very interesting. I'm meeting so many great and awesome people. Just in the past 3 years alone, it's been insane, and I love everybody that I meet. I want to end on a positive note because we only have a few minutes. I want to, my life is good. My life is good right now. It's just that we have to go back and think about where we came from and the people of our past, and that's why we have history class, even though we hate it so much and we're like, we don't even know why this even exists. It exists for the mere fact that history could repeat itself, and we need to learn what happened in the past so we could be prepared for what happens in the future. And yeah, that's my past. That's my upbringing, and I want to say, like, even though there's so many hardships and so many things I've gone through, I'm still standing today, and I don't want to die anytime soon. I am not suicidal anymore. I am definitely a happy person right now, and I love everybody that I meet, and I love my life right now, despite my life being so difficult and so strange growing up. My life right now is amazing. Thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully, I see you in the next podcast. This is amazing. I'm so excited to start this podcast and just make myself an open book. Basically, write in my journal, leave it open in the library or whatever, leave it open in the public, and then everybody just goes up to it and reads it. This is amazing, and this is the best way that I can just get everything that I've never told anybody out there, or whatever. So thank you all so much for watching, or listening, I mean. And yeah, be sure to add this to your favorites or follow this podcast. Have a good one, everybody.